Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Literally Dead Book Club live show. We're a couple minutes late. Everything's fine. Thank you for being patient. I have a little poll up in the comments asking which your favorite was. That was creepy. We all just
Yeah, we did it simultaneously. Wow.
And you guys, we didn't plan this. We all are matching the book cover. Like, I think that's pretty incredible. I put up a poll so you can tell us which one your favorite story was. And I think let's start with whatever everyone voted for. And we'll talk about the books one by one. Before we get into anything, a quick reminder that the next month, October, we are reading The Treasure Hunters Club. And then what else? Anything else I wanted to update you? I don't think so. These are my co-hosts. I'll have them introduce themselves. Your name, your channel, what you like to read, and you've both been here before. But if there has been any recent favorite, like mystery, thriller, horror you want to share with the class, people are always here for a recommendation. So I'd love to hear. I saw Jenny finish something really recently, and maybe that's a new favorite. I don't know.
So hi, my name is Jenny. My channel is JYT_creative space, both on Instagram and on YouTube. The genre of books I usually read are fantasy, horror, sometimes romance, but these days I'm really into horror. A recent favorite, a recent 5-star was The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones.
I know that's right.
But yesterday I finished another book by Nat Cassidy, which was The Second Chance with Nat, and it was When the Wolf Comes Home, and I gave that a 4.5.
Big recommendation for that from me. I think that's kind of like the horror of the year that everyone's really going to be talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I guess everyone can put in the comments too. Give me a little car emoji if you read that story. Give me a little spider emoji if you read The Babysitter Lives.
Ooh,
I just killed a spider like 3 seconds before we went live. I usually would take them outside, but I didn't have time, and I saw it on the wall, and I was like, it's huge. I got to get rid of it. I went to hit it with a book. It slipped out of my hand, and I just hit it with my naked hand, the whole spider. It was so disgusting.
Oh my God. And you said that publicly.
Yeah, it could have been a secret.
So the spider on here, I feel it. I feel it.
You know, just to put a little bit of culture, in a lot of indigenous cultures, spiders are messengers from your ancestors. So could have been an ancestor, and you killed.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I never killed them. I promise I never kill spiders, but it was like right here. Yeah. And I was like, I have to go live. And if I let this crawl through my whole house, like he was big. And I was like, let's actually make contact. Fun.
Listen, I've taken a spider out or two in my day. I tell you right now. I tell you right now. There was a spider on my bed. I almost burnt the bed down. I was just, I don't know if I got the spider, but I definitely moved with intention.
Interesting that some people are saying half. Like, I guess you guys DNF'd a short story.
Oh.
All right.
I don't think I ever DNF'd a short story.
I will say, like, before we get into anything, these felt long. Like, these stories, not in a good way or a bad way. They felt long.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
Bree, give us a little intro. I can't wait to hear if you had any recent favorites.
Oh yeah, because I have not told anybody what I've read.
Everything's a secret.
It really is. People have told me that's my MO. I don't know how to change that. But anyway, the name is Bree. I have a channel called Lockbooktition. I have not been as active, but do plan to be active in November. Life has just been whooping ass. But the intro questions, my name, my channel, what I like to read. So I really like to read just spooky shit. It doesn't really matter of the genre. I am feeling an itch towards sci-fi. And I'm not sure what direction to go into that. I'm just hoping the sci-fi gods just kind of like come upon me. But I'm feeling like I really want to go that route. I just don't know what to read next. I kind of feel just like, so what do I read now after I just read these two books? But so sci-fi is what I want to get into, but I do read a lot of horror, a lot of mystery, a lot of thriller, and on occasion you probably can get me to read romance, but don't hold your breath because you might die. So, that's pretty much for me. Recent five or like just good reads, like stuff I've read that's good. Um, I'm blaming everyone who's been on the internet before me, Kayla, and other people for not putting me on to a series called The Diviners. I'm obsessed. I'm
Oh.
obsessed.
Mm.
I love The Diviners. I think that me and Libba Bray should get married soon. I don't know who she's into. She better be into me. That's what I do know. And then I also been reading slowly. I've only read the first book and the second book. It's called The Devil's Thief by Lisa Maxwell. I'm really enjoying those books. Are they 6, 7, 800 pages long?
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. But I am really enjoying those books. And then I recently read The Bewitching by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, and I do like the book. The pacing was just extremely slow, but I think that's typical in her books. But I do like her books, so that was a good book read for me. In addition to the what is it, Murder of Mrs. Hortense? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I'm saying that right, but like as a person of Jamaican descent as well, I just really enjoyed the book. And I love when protagonists are older, specifically older women. Give me a granny solving some stuff. I'm really down for that. So those are like some of the books I've read recently that I've really liked. It took me a month to finish The Bewitching though, because it just,
Oh, wow.
I've been reading really slow, like 2 pages a day.
That
So
one's on my TBR shelf. I need
yeah,
to get to that one.
yeah,
The Murder of Miss Hort. I didn't remember how to pronounce it, but that I
yeah.
just put that on my TBR like maybe 2 weeks ago. I want to
Oh,
get to that one. As far as
yeah.
sci-fi, have you read Death of the Author? It's like a 2025 release.
I have not read, and that's by come on, a black person. Oh my God,
Nadia
hold on,
Korafor?
Daddy.
That one,
I
I
haven't-
think you would really like that one.
Yeah, I haven't read it, but I met her and she signed it for me a couple
Oh, nice.
ago. Yeah.
I would say prioritize that one because it's like a really good mix of literary fiction and sci-fi. I feel like you could get in. That's a good gateway to sci-fi for sure.
Okay. I'll get it. I'll read that one. But I've been definitely because some sci-fi I've read like when I was really starting YouTube, and then I just kind of left it alone and just was like murder, stab, and want to get, I still want murder, stab, but some other stuff going on. So yeah.
I agree. Like the poll keeps going back and forth. It's like 51% of Babysitter Lives, 49% Killer on the Road, but it was just switched a second ago. So maybe it doesn't really matter which one we start with. Actually, let's get the three of us. Let's each answer which one we preferred, and then whichever one we agree was better, we'll start with that one.
Okay. Killer on the Road.
Okay.
I like Babysitter Lives.
I did too.
Oh, Bree, sorry. That's democracy.
We're gonna start with the one. We're gonna start with the one that Bree didn't understand.
Are you guys hiders?
All right. Our first discussion is going to be for The Babysitter Lives. None of us understood what was going on, but we had a good time.
Really?
That
was a comment because I was like, if I replay this book one more time, I'm an idiot. I replayed it 3 times, you guys. I was in a fridge cleaning, like, wait a minute. Charlie? Who the hell is Charlie?
Yeah, this is one that I really had to pay attention to. There was like, I was cleaning, I was doing other stuff, and I was listening to the audiobook. And as we approached the second half of it, I was like, no, I just need to sit down and I need to turn my brain on. Because like, what are we talking about? Like, what is actually happening? I think this was my favorite of the two because I just love a cyclical story. I love one that like comes back around where things are referenced later, where like we're restarting the whole story again. And I love like time jumping books. I love doppelganger type stuff. So that was the vibes of this one. we are going to be in full spoilers this entire live show. I don't think there's really anything we can talk about even in this book, besides a quick pitch, which we'll have Jenny give us for what the story is actually about.
Okay, so for The Babysitter Lives, we follow our main character, Charlotte, who agrees to babysit these twins so their parents can go on a date. And as she's planning to like do the normal routine, she's going to go study for her SATs that are the next day, which is Halloween. But because of this looming Halloween date, some weird things happen in the house, and she realizes that her and the twins are probably not alone.
Amazing. Perfect pitch.
Succinct. I mean, yes, Jenny girl. Give the girls brevity.
Thank you.
As you should.
Okay, so everybody tell us what your rating was for this one. I gave it a 4. Neither of these was a 5-star story for me. And I've had favorite. I think when we switch in between the two stories, we'll talk more about our history with Stephen Graham Jones, because I would love to ask that question too. But I've definitely rated things 5 stars from him. I've rated 4 stars from him. I don't think I've ever gone under a 4. That's not true. I read one anthology from him that was terrible. But yeah, this I know what a 5-star Stephen Graham Jones is, and neither of these quite hit that. You know?
No.
For me, I'm between a 4.5 and a 5-star.
Okay.
Get it, girl.
There's a scene that we'll discuss later as to why I might not give it a 5, but we'll chat about that.
Okay.
Oh my God, I gotta get on my Zoom. Am I next? Just kidding, guys.
No, I think you gave it a 2.5. I'll just answer for you. No, you liked it better than that?
No, I would never give Stephen Graham Jones a 2.5.
I deeply apologize. I can't believe I would say that.
Now that author you be trying to get me to read, Riley goddamn Sager, you know I will demote that. But no. Okay, so I'm just gonna out myself. I read this when it was scribd, and then it turned into whoever.
Right.
And I read it, and I just didn't understand it, and then I think I just soft DNF'd it. And then when I heard this book had 2 books in it, I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'll get back into it. I was confused by certain parts, and then I was just like, oh, Stephen Graham Jones is doing that. I think it was in Mapping the Interior? This cyclical. There was a book where the formula is similar of how he read
it might have been that one.
It could have been that one, but I didn't hate it and I didn't love it. I will say, because I just was a little confused. But then when Kayla was like, it's a doppelganger, because that's what I was confused. I was like, is there another character here? I kept repeating the same damn parts and thought, okay, am I losing my mind? So that helped clarify something and made it more enjoyable for me. So I was going in between like a 3.5, 4 rating for this book. But I always change, depending on the conversation. If I just a clarification of something, I probably would like that more. And then I really did like the time jumps, even though I was a little confused. Because for me, time jumps is my thing. I don't care if I'm confused. Let me live in confusion. I'm gonna be confused. It's all right. So that's what I have for that as far as my rating.
Yeah, I feel like maybe a lot of the comments, the people who did give it a lower rating, it's because they were confused. And yeah. I too was confused, but that's something that I think I'm just okay with in a lot of books, because I also love cosmic horror. I love the unexplained. Yeah. I love a fever dream normally, where I'm just like, okay, I just accept that like the author knows what they're doing. I don't actually have to understand. I'm just here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fever dream is my least favorite.
I go back and forth. It like really depends.
Yeah.
I think especially if it's a long book, like if we're talking 500 pages and I'm lost and floating around the entire time, no thank you.
Yeah, because I think that horror book that BookTube loves called Bunny is Fever Dream, right?
I was going to bring
we
that
can't
one
get
up.
into this right now.
That horrid ass book.
Oh,
Bree!
Oh my God, money. And I'm like, I
You
hate it.
can't slander the greatest book of all time. We're not doing it today.
It's really basura for my Spanish speaking people in the chat.
Okay, how did you enjoy the pace of the story? I think it was fine, but like I said, both of these stories felt longer than they should have been. I think they both could have cut off about 50 pages earlier, and I would have enjoyed the pace more, because there was a certain point in both of them where I was like, okay, like I get it, and we can end it.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm gonna just have to agree with you, because there was one time I thought the book was over, and I was like, man, I really get through this shit. And I looked, and it was like 2.5 hours later more, and I was like, come on now, what's going on? So yeah.
I felt the same way with pacing, but I think because I read it after Killer on the Road, it felt so much quicker.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you guys like our main character? My question with this is kind of like, did you like following her? Did you enjoy being in her head? Her name's Charlotte. But also, like, I like to ask, do you find her relatable in any way? / would you have made similar decisions? Just kind of like, let's discuss her as a person, and any thoughts you have.
I'm trying to think of I'm just trying to think of succinctly out. Jenny, if you want to go, because sometimes I feel like I'm talking over people. So if I'm talking too much, just let me know, because it takes me a while to say my thoughts. And I'm like, I got to get them all out. Time. So I'm kind of freaking out. So maybe
take a beat. You're good.
It's okay.
Yeah,
we're all friends here. You can
you
can be chill.
I can say it, but if you want to go, you can.
Okay. I think I felt pretty neutral about Charlotte. Like, I didn't lean like, oh, she's so annoying or anything, but I think there are certain decisions she made that I wouldn't have. I think I would have left the house much, much, much earlier than her.
Right.
I wouldn't have opened the door when she opened the door.
No.
Yeah, there's just certain things where I'm like, this is a little too scary. And I know you're stressed studying the SATs and everything. I'm sure that's very important. But like right now, opening the door when somebody creepy looking is out there is probably not the answer.
Not at all. Not at all. No.
This is so real, because like I feel like maybe it's interesting that he did give us a character who had such an important test the next day.
Yeah.
And like this is like the thing that happens, right? You have a nightmare the night before, you can't fall asleep the night before. Like that's such a thing. So he made it a reality. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, yeah. I also like thought because and like correct me if we're wrong. I don't know if we got like a lot of background about like who she was.
Yeah, not too much.
But I made the assumption of who she was like based off of other characters that he has written. And I was like, man, if I also was in a situation where I wanted to get out of where I'm living and then like go to college, like that is my saving grace, because I know for a lot of millennials, like college was our way out. And it's just like you're trying to strive towards that, and you're trying to make that a reality, and you also need coins. So you're like, you know what, I'm gonna just get through this, and even if it's scary or spooky or whatever, the goal is to do this SAT test, get a high enough score so that I can make it out the hood, essentially. So as a person who went through that and experienced that in so many ways, like I understood how I felt like a lot of her decisions was career driven. Like it was like, I have to preserve what I think is gonna put me in a better like position in life, it felt like. So that was just like one of the biggest things I thought about when thinking about her character, and I was using that lens of how she was making decisions. Even though I was just like, girl, I don't know if I would have did that one, but she was making decisions that she thought, frontal lobe ain't really developed. Was she 17, 18, still got baby milk on the tongue. I was just thinking developmentally also where she was at when she was making these decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found myself constantly like, oh my God, get back in the beanbag. Like that was my number one thought. I was like, all you have to do is get in the beanbag. Like even if you don't believe in it, even if you don't believe this child, just get back in the beanbag anyway.
Yeah.
Just do it. Yeah. But then the story wouldn't have happened, you know? So it's like it had to happen, but I was so, and then the moment where she was like, I'm going to take the kids out of the house. I was like, okay, great. Good idea. And then she went outside and the sky was like vinyl, like painted.
Weird.
Yeah.
I was like, that's so interesting. And she's like, okay, I guess I'll stay in the house. And I was like, is that the right decision? I was like constantly questioning the thing she was doing. And then like when she let Murphy in the house, that was the one moment that I was like, girl, no. I would never in my life, if I was babysitting somebody, even if I knew the family so well, no one else is walking through that door.
No.
Yeah, and especially the way Murphy comes in, like she's already creeped out about that Jack in the Box, and Murphy looks so much like it that it's like, that's weird. But then she does that whole like monologue of like, you have to invite me in, like people like me have to be invited. I'm like, actually, I take back the invite. You can't come in.
No. I think soon as that little girl told her that their mom wasn't their real mom, is that what she said?
Yeah.
I would have been like,
my other mom.
I gotta go. What? What do you mean?
I'm gonna call my mom to pick me up.
Right? No, I'd have headed out. What do you mean she's only talking to me and us when the parents ain't around? That would have been. I don't know if that's my New Orleans vibes. No, I don't mess around. No, I gotta get out of there.
I think it was really smart of Stephen Graham Jones to also give her, though, that previous bad experience babysitting, where she let Murphy in the house and that little boy. That's what happened, right? It was because Murphy came over and they were distracted, and then he ran out, and she lost sight of the child. If she hadn't had that experience, I think it would have been easier for us as the reader to go, she should have just left. Like, why didn't she just leave? But because she has this like, could be like kind of trauma related to that.
Oh yeah.
It was like, no matter what, I'm going to stick with these kids.
Yeah.
And I think we needed that, because in every horror movie ever, you're like, just leave, just get out.
Oh yeah.
There was an extra layer that you were like, okay, I get it. I get why she's not leaving.
Yeah. And she kept saying several times in the book, like, I only care about these kids. Like, I got to find these kids. I got to help these kids. So yeah.
Okay, honestly, like, I don't know if this is a stupid question from me, but I also am still trying to figure out if Murphy was really there, because we know that when Murphy came into the house, the entity, the villain, whatever, the little girl who was murdered by her mother in the past, like embodied Murphy, like took over her body. And that's why Murphy at one point like didn't know her own phone number, and she realized that she was, so was Murphy actually there and taken over by this little girl, or was the little girl just appearing as Murphy?
I think she was appearing as Murphy.
I thought so too.
Okay. Because that's what I thought. I thought Murphy was never actually there, because I kept thinking if I was in Charlotte's shoes, I would call Murphy. I would call her and be like, are you at my house right now? Yeah. There was
a lot of shape shifting going on. So I was just like, this girl is everywhere, but nowhere.
Okay, you know? Okay, I'm glad we agree.
Yeah, especially because she was in that weird outfit. Like, I don't think the actual Murphy would come in a weird outfit, but like, I guess that was the only other reference that the child had to like somebody adult sized was that Jack in the Box.
Okay. Because there was also that one line that confirmed it for me when she was like, I can't remember exactly what she said, but she was saying like Murphy wouldn't have actually done this or something. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, I don't think Murphy's actually there. But there could be a chance that Murphy was actually there. So I didn't know if we actually got that answer, if we still get to wonder. Mm-hmm. I don't think she was, but I couldn't tell you why. Okay. Any reveals that surprised you or that you saw coming? Just like any reveals of the book, could you predict them coming? Were they surprising to you? I guess the big reveals are that they're like, the murder happened in the house. And I don't know, this type of book, because it's like a novella, I don't think you can see anything coming necessarily, because like it all just happened so fast. Like the reveals happen so quickly. So there was the murder. And then I guess there's the kind of switcheroo, because you think that the mom murdered the children when it was actually the little girl. And that scene where she like shoved his eyeballs into his head in the bath, that fucked me up. What else was revealed? God, I can't even think. The fact that, okay, the surprising moment to me was when she was looking through the nanny cam and she saw who she thought was Murphy in her costume, and then she took off her costume and it was herself.
Yeah.
That was like the crazy reveal for me.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, we're doppelganger things happening.
Yeah.
I think also when, Ronald took her into that water closet thing and then it shot her into the beanbag.
Yeah.
I was like, I guess that is considered a reveal, but at the same time, I was like, where the hell are we? And then that's when I was like, oh no, you got to crawl back in that beanbag, girl.
Yeah, that was definitely like, that was a plot changing part that we were like, oh, this is actually happening. It's not like, because she did bonk her head a minute before that. And I was like, okay, so do we get to wonder if she's imagining this?
Mm-hmm.
But then it was like, no, she just, and I think the way that he wrote that scene was kind of vague too.
Yeah.
So I was like, did she actually transport into a different part of the house?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I had any big reveals. I was just going through it. Not like that, but I was I was just like, oh, okay. Well, she's looking in the mirror. She don't really recognize herself. Okay. Oh, but now she does, and now she doesn't. Then now she's cutting herself. Oh, okay. Now the kids are in the tub, and she's like, I gotta warm them up. Like, I just felt like there was just so many things that I just felt like I was on a roller coaster of a fever dream.
Yeah. This one for sure, Justine, the homeless man being the dad of the kids.
Yeah.
That one was sad. When the parents were like, oh, there's a homeless guy who comes and knocks on the door, don't answer it. But he's like there to try to find his child.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then how Charlie responded. And is that we're talking about the same thing? I might be talking about something.
Yeah, when Charlie lets him in the house.
Yeah.
The doppelganger lets him in the house.
And the things that Charlie was saying to that man.
That's a ticket to hell. If it's
to hell, Diablo Land. I was like, I'm not reading this right. I can't possibly be reading this right. So I think that you're absolutely right, Kayla, because that was very sad for me, that scene.
Yeah.
That was very sad for me.
Okay, let's talk about impactful scenes, like ones that really grossed you out, ones that either you disliked or you liked. If you're somebody in the comments who gave this a low rating, feel free to rant a little bit. I feel like both of these stories combined are some of the grossest, like descriptive wise, that I've read from him.
Yeah, absolutely.
So which scenes really got you in here?
For me, and this was what's kind of pushing me to maybe not give it a 5-star, was the lizard scene with the dad. There's something about like sexual content in horror that really horrifies me. And especially because we get to see this framing of basically her being violated.
Yeah.
Like, even though it's not happening to her physically, it's still a violation.
Yeah.
And because she's so young, it just felt like, I don't think I needed the detail of it all. And when they were like, oh, his lizard, I was like, no, we don't need this. And it was just so gross. Like, I just had to put the book down at that point and like take a pause. But like, that was very impactful to her character. But at the same time, it was something that I was like, do I want this scene? Not really.
Yeah, I feel like it was one of those moments that I was like, I get it, because we're adding to the horror and you want different types of horror, and this is equally horror.
Yeah.
But it felt like to me at that moment, like Stephen Graham Jones didn't know when to call it. And it was like, there's enough going on. We didn't actually need like the pedophilic father. Like we actually didn't need that portion.
No.
I didn't need to know how many strokes, were happening.
No,
I was like, that's good. I did appreciate it was only, one paragraph. It didn't go on and on, because I know other authors would go on and on.
They will.
But I was like, I don't think we need this.
Yeah.
Especially because in the beginning, as a character, he's like a really creepy guy. And I was like, we could just infer from those comments that he's a creepy guy. And I didn't need to see that he was a creepy guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it felt, yeah. I think I knew things were was continuing to go south when Charlotte realized that, Charlie No,
Yeah,
Charlie.
Charlie,
Charlie. I'm like, Charlie, that's not Charlie was talking to the dad and being like, can you take me to what is it? The
Show me the
car
car
wash?
wash.
And he was like, the car wash. And I was like, this pedo.
yeah. No.
I knew immediately. And I kind of, spaced out after that a little bit, but that was no, I don't think I needed that scene at all. And I also when she found the kids eating the lasagna, that part, I don't know why I felt like my heart was in my ass because she couldn't find them, and like the fact that she couldn't find the children. And if anyone knows me personally, I will murder someone for doing something to a child. I do not play that shit about children at all. So when I went that scene, I don't know. Like, I'm not a mother. I'm an auntie though. Shout out. But in that moment, I was like, oh my God, if you don't find these fucking kids right now, I'm telling you. So that really had me shake. I was shooken.
And it happened so early in the book too. It was like the first scene. Like she just got to the house and she's like, I can't find the kids. I was like, you better fucking find these kids. No, I'm gonna freak out. Like
that was me. I was like, if she don't find these fucking kids in the next paragraph, I'm gonna come through and I'm gonna be Charlie. And I'm gonna do some shit.
Because also we didn't know at that point that the book was going to get, because there's horror slasher that's realistic and there's horror mystical, whatever else is happening, and we didn't know which direction it was. So I was like, the kids are in the house, just find them, like get it together and find the kids.
Exactly.
But also I was like, how big is this house?
Right.
Yes. No, I thought that too. I was like, this is going on and on and
She's
on.
like opening every door and it's been 3 pages, like where are the kids?
Yeah.
The one that really got me was when she was in like the other universe or whatever and realized she couldn't bleed. And so she was like cutting herself open, and she described it as like looking like tofu. That fucked me up so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, she was on the desk with the scissors and she was like, I'm going to chop off my thumb. I was like, girl, I didn't need to know that.
Her, what is it? Propensity. I don't know if that's the word. I could be thinking of some other stuff to like harm herself in those moments.
Like, no question.
I was like, ooh, the self-harm, that's also real. That's also real. Yeah,
this was a real horror one for me. Like it really worked for me. Okay. Any messages or themes you recognized or want to talk about before we move on to the next one? Because we talked about scenes specifically, but like any like overarching takeaways, I guess, that you had. I think I just wrote down like the responsibility and stress of being a student, but we kind of talked about that. I just wanted to talk about how I briefly want to talk about how she had to thaw out the kids. For some reason, that was a crazy scene for me.
No, that's what I was saying. If she was in the bathtub, and I'm like, why are you, girl? Call somebody. Like,
I just don't know that would have occurred to me if I found like frozen dead children. Would be like maybe they could be thawed, but like smart, she got it. She thought the commitment. I think that's the theme. The commitment of being a caregiver. It's like she was like, I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to de-thaw these frozen children.
Yeah, and the commitment to her future of being like, my mom could take the rap. And I was like,
okay. But also,
whatever it takes.
It was so creepy, her thawing the children, because we know the story from 11 years ago of like the lady boiling her kids in the bathtub.
That's so true.
And I was like, please don't put them in the bathtub. But she did it anyway and they were okay, I guess. But
I didn't think about that being a cyclical part too. It's like the 2 children in the bathtub.
Yeah. Man, houses have a lot of history. Houses have a lot of history. And I'm like, just imagine moving into a house and you don't know what's in it. But I also really, really love when a house is haunted. So that was like really one of my favorite parts of the books. Yeah. And I think when I think about messages, I do remember like I can't remember exactly, but I do felt that there was a lot of true reflection of real life experience of like being a young Indigenous girl when her and her mom would have conversations. I did feel seen by that. More specifically in the next book I'll talk about, but yeah.
Yeah, I
For
think
sure.
also like the messaging of like the sort of choices that you make and how it impacts your life, because we do see a kind of parallel scene of her mom not saving that other boy.
Uh-huh.
I think Arthur is his name, and
Arthur,
instead
yeah.
hitting Arthur, and like
Right.
getting to see how that changes the trajectory of her life. And because she's kind of stuck in this house now, it's like every little decision changes the way her future maps out. And so it's like kind of that anxiety that you have at that young age of like,
Yeah.
what do I like? Is going to college the right choice, or staying back with my mom the right choice, or being with this girl I love the right choice? I think
Yeah.
that was an interesting message.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do love books where characters get to like try out different realities for themselves. And this was almost that. It was like she was trying to impact, you know, but it was
Mhm.
more just timeline. It was like, oh, she's just a couple hours behind. How much can you really change?
Yeah. And I did like at the end of the book where she was trying to I don't know why I'm still talking in code, but she was trying to figure something out, and she was trying to figure something out, and then she made the statement of like the horse is the not the horse, the house was like, I can give you your real life, but you also have to accept that this boy died,
Mm-hmm.
and like, are you okay with that? So
Yeah, that is a lot for a teenager to handle.
yeah, that's a lot to process. Yeah, for
Was there? Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just saying for sure.
Mm.
Hmm.
Is there any movies or other books that like came to mind while you were reading this that you would recommend?
For me, immediately is We Used to Live Here. Something
Oh
about the
yeah.
house and like that very creepy, eerie, and there's a creepy child in there too. Yeah, it reminded me of the feelings I had when I read that book.
Okay.
I was thinking like The Haunting of Hill House, more specifically the adaptation than the actual book,
Yeah.
which I think he mentioned in the acknowledgments of that
Mhm.
story.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about Other Words for Smoke. I think they're not super similar, but I think if you liked that short story, you should look into Other Words for Smoke. We also have a queer relationship and a strange house, and it's like confusing at times. I
Mhm.
think
Yeah.
people could like that one.
Not to plug my channel, but I do have a video or two where I talk about recommendations that has to do with houses.
Mhm.
And like I said, I do love a spooky house, a spooky mansion, a spooky place. I love when places itself have a history of like paranormal activity, I guess I would say. For me, if we're just talking about houses, because that's where I would go with my recommendations, I would say Tananarive, The Good House
Yes.
would be a really good place to start. I think it's called This Curse House by Del Sandine. That's a recent release, newer, I would say. Um, then you also have The Spite House by Johnny Compton would
Mhm.
work as well. I have some other recommendations, but as far as house, that's all I can remember at this point in time.
Yeah, and you guys can go in the description and click the link and find the videos on Bree's channel for more houses.
Yeah.
Um, okay, let's switch over to Killer on the Road. Um, but first, I want to talk quickly about just your past with Stephen Graham Jones.
Okay.
I started reading Stephen Graham Jones, I think this was 2017. My first one was Mapping the Interior, which I really recommend. My friend Wheezy recommended this at the time, or I bought it for them and I bought it for myself at the same time. So I was like, we'll do a little buddy read. So that's where I started. And then I've continued to like his novellas. My all-time favorite, I guess, actually the first year of the book club, we read The Only Good Indians, which was this is probably my number one recommendation if I had to pick one. I think like most people seem to enjoy it. And then My Heart is a Chainsaw changed my life, and I gave this 5 stars.
Really?
And I think this is one of the greatest books of all time.
Oh my God.
But I recommend it very carefully because I
Because
don't
people don't
think
like slashers.
it's not for everybody. It's very internal. You're fine. It's very stream of consciousness, like just in someone's head, exploring their own mind for many, many pages.
Yeah.
And then last year for the book club, we read I Was a Teenage Slasher, and I think this is in my top maybe 3 favorite books of all time. I think it's incredible. I think it's slept on. I think people don't appreciate it for what it was. It's
That's
very, very unique, but also has a lot of just like the typical slasher stuff. And then this year, I feel like the Buffalo Hunter really hit for a lot of people. I thought this was good. I gave it a 4. So that's my past. Oh, and I've also read like all of his short story collections. And I don't love him in short story format as much as a novella or a novel. What about you guys? Jenny, you like are newly into Steven Graham, right? Like you're trying to hit.
Yeah, it's been like 2 months since I started reading Steven Graham Jones. I started out reading for Summerween, so I've read Mapping the Interior. And then after that, I did The Only Good Indians, which was a 5-star. I love a revenge book. The themes and like the culture in that like really hit for me. And the horror scene in that one with the fan lives in my brain forever. And then I went to read I Was a Teenage Slasher, which I like to rebrand as I Was a Teenage Yapper, because Tolly Driver loved to chat about himself, and I love that for him. Mongrels was the next one that I read, and then Night of the Mannequins. And then I'm currently working on the Indian Lake trilogy. I've already read My Heart is a Chainsaw, and I think that worked much better for me than I Was a Teenage Slasher. So I'm really excited to continue on that. And then the last one I've just read was obviously this collection for this chat.
Nice.
Nice.
I forgot about Mongrels. I did also read Mongrels. I think I gave it a 4, but it was like just a 4.
Yeah, I feel like with Steven Graham Jones, his works are a lot of like growers, not showers for me. And so at the time when I read Mongrels, I knew the thematics of it and like enjoyed what it was like, what he was trying to do, but it didn't hit me. But like as it's like marinated in my mind, I'm like, I really did appreciate the way that kind of was written out.
Cool. I think for me, it's more of like, what haven't I read?
Yeah.
I've read a lot of Steven Graham Jones. I've read every book that both of you have mentioned. And yeah, I think that would be the better one for me to say what I haven't read. My favorite book of Steven Graham Jones used to always notoriously be The Only Good Indians. But the way the Buffalo Hunter peeled my scalp back, I tell you, it relived. It just bought every brain part. Every part of my brain just came alive. Like I think that should be on somebody's shelf, a shrine, if you will. The way that man talked about the white man, and woo, I loved it so much. I think literally that book and Babel are my favorite books of the year. Spoiler alert. But the Buffalo Hunters gave me life. Every sentence, every word was beautifully crafted. I think it's a work of art. That man needs to get a goddamn Nobel Prize for that book. That book, I have never highlighted and underlined and also wrote shit on the side in my life. I own that book in every form: audiobook, ebook, 2 hard copies. It is serious. I love that book so much. I cannot and I used to think nothing is ever comparing to The Only Good Indians. It's just too good. Until that man wrote the Buffalo Good Stab needs to be studied. He needs to be studied. Anyway,
I'm just so glad. Like, I'm so glad he's getting the success that he's getting, because like the first couple of years that I was reading him, anytime I would recommend one of his books, people were like, yeah, okay. And then I just feel like, I don't know if he found his stride or that people found him, but like the things that he's doing now and he's writing about and he's getting to cover and that publishers are supporting him covering it's just good for him. I'm just so happy.
Yeah, I'm just really, really a fan. And I'm really happy that he also liked my review of the Buffalo.
Oh, good.
And put it on his website.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Bree,
my
you're too
God.
famous for us.
I know, material girl. I got you down now, boo. I'm just kidding, but listen, the Buffalo Hunter, it's incomparable to
I'm
nothing.
so excited to read that one then.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Killer on the Road because Bree, you like this one more. So
Yeah.
this is your moment to shine. Do you want to give us a little pitch of it while everyone
my
shares their rating?
Putting me on the spot because I'm like, what was even the book about? No. I think I go anywhere between a 4.5 and a 5 on that one. And the thing is, with authors, your 5 is based on your last 5. Does that make sense?
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
I gotta have that same feeling. If there's nothing, and I would not compare it to because I think the Buffalo Hunter is 10. You get me? Like that across the board. But maybe we'll keep it at a 4. Maybe I think.
All right.
Yeah, 4.
For me, when I finished it, it was a 3. But as I said, he's a grower, and so as I was looking through our discussion for this chat, I was like, actually, it's a 4-star.
Yeah.
This happened to me several times. I won't lie to you.
I gave this one a 4. I think the only reason is it went on a little bit too long. I think we could have cut it off 50 pages earlier, and I would have liked it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Okay, so the pitch of Killer on the Road is we have a character named Harper who runs away from home. Her friends and her little sister and her ex-boyfriend all kind of stumble upon her as she's running away.
Mm-hmm.
And they all end up on this like crazy road trip while they're running away from a serial killer who has been on the road for a while. And again, like just like the Babysitter Lives, like we don't know kicking it off if it's going to be like a realistic slasher or if it's going to go into other territory. And this one does go into other territory.
Yeah.
And we find out that basically we're in spoilers. This guy is like consuming human pieces, but then it goes further than that. And he's consuming human pieces and then taking on their attributes and kind of becomes one with them. Yeah. So that's the pitch of Killer on the Road. This is one of the first chapters in my life that I have enjoyed the most. Like it was crazy.
Girl,
like the story was just so fun.
My jaw was on the floor.
It was like this hitchhiker and telling the story, and then it was like turns out the person telling the story is the killer, and then it was so good.
No, I said, what a beautiful opening.
Yeah, it was the perfect speed.
It was beautifully done. I loved when he said, "Oh, that's not possible for 2 serial killers to be in the same car." I told my best friend that. I was driving. I said, "Oh, that's crazy to say." That's so wild to say that to somebody and then shoot their finger. Then eat their finger in their face. Like, I'm just having a burrito. What you having? Cool Ranch?
And then when he ate it, I was like, oh.
No.
I didn't know it was going there.
No. He ate it in his face.
Yeah. Imagine. And he's like giggling and he's like, anyway, what's your name?
No. Imagine somebody eating their finger in your face.
It reminded me of how we started with My Heart as a Chainsaw, because this also starts with just like this crazy wild scene.
Exactly.
But then I know a lot of readers hate it because it immediately drops off and we just go into like other stuff.
Yeah.
Or eventually we come back to the extreme stuff. Mm-hmm. But this one like kept the pace for me. I feel like this one was action packed. Things were constantly happening. There were some slow moments, but it never felt like his novellas and his novels feel so different to me because his novels are always so introspective. They're just in someone's mind. They're reflecting on life. And his novellas are like, they're so action packed and they're just so different. It's like, he really knows where he shines in each thing.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay. Did you like our main character in here? Our main character was Harper. How did you feel about her decision-making, her situation?
I really liked her because she had this sense of independence to her. You know, not all the time were the choices necessarily ones that I would have agreed with, but I think it all made sense into like who she was, especially in the dynamic of her family, her being like the older sister and her having like this innate like responsibility to take care of other people. I think her character is really well built out in this one.
Yeah. I felt some of her rage that she had for like a father not being there.
Yeah.
I felt some of the rage she had about like having a complex relationship with your mother and like blaming her for things not going the way that you would want them to go. The scene about Omar Epps' movie was just like so like gut wrenching to me, of like, you're not going to be watching this movie again, and then how it transpired into her leaving.
Mhm.
I just think, I don't know, I felt like she had layers. I felt like throughout the book, one thing I felt really bad for her is that she kept experiencing like loss after loss after loss, and there was no reprieve, no grieving. And
Yeah.
I think that part to me was very culturally relevant, because I always say to be Black and Indigenous is to have an intimate relationship with grief. And I know a lot of people in my communities like just lose people. Like, I mean, every week it feels like someone is dying. And I felt for her in those moments of being like, how do you grieve when you have another funeral to go to?
Yeah.
It's interesting. I remember one of my little nephews, I call him my little nephew, told me, and he's just 17. He was like, Bree, I've never been a guest at a funeral. Just how awing to hear him say that, because in his life, someone is always dying. So that pattern really touched me. I guess I could have left that to the ending of the question. Sorry, I went that early.
I felt, I don't know how he consistently pulls this off for me, that like
Yeah.
I just feel so I just see his characters. Like they feel so, even if we're not getting a ton of backstory, just like Brie, what you said about like other people, like seeing the main character through other people.
Yeah.
That's how you get, or maybe Jenny said that. See, like that's how you get an idea of who that character is.
Yeah.
And I think we saw that in here. It's just like all of her friends and her ex-boyfriend. We kind of get to see her through their eyes, and you just feel so like, you feel that this warm energy from her, even though you don't know her that well. And so every single one of these deaths hits you so hard.
Yeah.
Even though they don't seem to hit her that hard. Someone just said that in the comments. And I think that's interesting, because I think it's kind of a coping mechanism where it's just like, there's still so much happening. You can't let it break you, because you still have to survive. You still have to, there's so much going on. And also this one, I guess, had the pressures of taking care of a younger child, just the Babysitter Lives. Like there are parallels between these two stories that make them such a good bind up. Also, like the fact that like both of them have this entity that can take on the appearance of a real person.
Yeah.
But she had the pressures of taking care of her little sister. And I really loved that scene where she let her sister go, because I didn't see it coming. Like I didn't know how that was going to happen.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
So her mother was there and she just like let her little sister go. And I think that shows a lot of her character as well.
Yeah.
Even though she doesn't necessarily like her mom all the time, she recognizes that this child needs a parental figure, and her mother is doing a fine enough job, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't like her decision making all the time, because like they burnt down a truck stop, which was like insane. But then there were moments that I really loved seeing her care, like certain things that she was saying, like she grabbed the gas can from the gas station because she'd be more likely to be picked up hitchhiking if she looked like she was heading to a car or something. There was like little moments like that where you got to see her using her intelligence to make things happen, and I really liked those moments from her.
She had good survival instincts, at least for herself.
Did you like the side characters? I think this is like one of his books where I loved all the characters equally, so I was getting upset when they were dying.
Yeah.
I was rooting for her and Dylan so hard.
Me too.
I was like, they have to get back together, and then he dies. I was like, no fucking way.
Yeah. I really love the scene when I think Jam, is that a name?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one who originally gets taken over by Bucket Mouth.
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't see that coming at all.
No, I didn't see it at all. When Jam was taken, and then the other girl was like, you aren't Jam. You know what I mean? I forget her name. And then just like the language that he used, and I was just like, man, you can really know an outsider of being like, you keep calling, we're going to Yellowstone, and it's like, it's just the park. And I just felt like so connected to that scene, because it's like the white man's calling it Yellowstone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we are calling it this. So who the hell are you? And speak up quick. So, and then unfortunately she died tragically right after that.
Yeah, Kissy and Jam, like that scene of their death, and like the slow-mo death of Kissy too. I was like, I cannot be seeing my best friend die right now.
Yeah.
And Kissy just taking her hands off the wheel. She's like, I don't want to drive anymore.
And it's like,
Yeah.
I love just how like we get so little of these characters, but you instantly get such a good idea of who they are. Like Kissy is just chaos, but she has such a good heart.
yeah.
Yeah. And then her making that promise to read her journals. Is that right? That one? Okay, I can't remember their names, of the characters, because I never can. But yeah, I just felt like all the characters at some point felt like they were my friends, and like I was losing them. And then I like started blending that on in real life. Like, if I lost my best friend, I don't know if I would have had it together. But also, you got to survive. In moments like that, you don't have time to stop and pause and think about what's going on. You're trying to get to the next spot. And she had her little sister with her for most of the journey as well.
It was such a good found family. And I feel like the last few Stephen Graham Jones that I've read, it had mostly been focused on the main character. So getting to have that like whole group of people be so tight knit and like have all this trust in each other. It felt very nice until obviously he killed them off, and I was like, can nobody have good things, Stephen?
No.
Yeah, I love the way he writes friendship. Like,
yeah,
I think now that I look at the stack of things here, I think we need like a really good friendship story, like a group of 5 characters who are like doing stuff together.
And they all live, please.
Yeah.
Let them all live.
Yeah, but those are my favorite like spooky books. Like, there's a book called The Vanishers. It's a series by Kaylin Barron. It's a middle grade, and it's about like vampire hunters who are kids. And it's like they're friends and like them doing shit and getting shit done. I really loved a friendship thing.
Yeah.
Strong friendship, I would say. Not a friend who's backstabbing you, but a strong friendship.
Yeah.
How did you feel about Bucket Mouth as a villain? I feel like we don't always get such a clear villainous character who like this character was so strange, because like there was a moment at the end where they were like just having this like friendly dialogue for like 20 pages, and I was like, this is so strange.
Yeah, he was very charismatic. I think he really loved playing games. He's been doing this for such a long time. And I loved when Harper thought that, I think in her mind, she was thinking that she was trying to best him. And he was like, oh, negotiation. Oh, like he was just like saying like what she was doing. And she kept doing it. Even knowing that's what she was doing, she still continued like doing it. There was one gross scene, but we can talk about that later. I was like, this is fucking gross.
Yeah.
I also feel like he kind of just wanted a friend. Like he was like, let's do this together. You could be like me. We can hang out. I was like, wait, why do I want him to have a friend?
Yeah. And then at the same time, he's like, you're trying to play me. You're going to kill me the first chance you get. Like, so I'm just
he was with it.
Yeah. I'm like, what kind of friendship are you talking about? So.
Yeah, I quite liked him. I think this kind of blends into thematics as well, but he felt a lot like a personification of grief and death to me. And like to have him have that, especially like in the parts where like he eats people's like body parts. Like a lot of people talk about grief feeling like losing a limb or like losing a part of yourself. And to have him like be like this kind of almost silly, goofy at times, but then this very horrific figure, having him to me be like that personification of grief, of like just haunting you and following you on like you getting on the road of your life. I really liked how Stephen Graham Jones brought his character, because at times you're like, I'm not really afraid of you, and then he does crazy shit like eating people's eyeballs, and you're like, I don't think I can be friends with my grief right now, because that's too much.
Absolutely. Like and he was super charismatic. and funny.
You're like, I kind of want to hang out with you.
That exactly. Putting on my therapy hat just for a second, because y'all know I'm licensed. I was like, wow, a true depiction of antisocial personality disorder.
Oh.
Cool. I was like, wow, because I'm gonna tell you, as a therapist, I'd be like, damn, this motherfucker is charismatic as hell. They playing me.
Yeah.
I just got played. So I was just like, damn, you gotta watch out for the charisma.
Mm-hmm. That scene where he ate the eyeball and then like baby birded it into Harper's mouth.
Oh, that was the scene I was referring to.
And then he looked like her dad in that scene too.
Oh yeah, it was her dad. Like,
and I was like, "Excuse me, sir.
I was like, you're kissing your dad on the mouth right now." Huh?
I know. I was like, are we gonna acknowledge that she's kissing her father?
She acknowledges it. She's like, this is very weird that he has my father's face.
Yeah. And she was like, you're gonna have to be somebody else. It's gonna be less creepy. You're gonna have to turn to someone else. But yeah, that was really creepy. I did have 2 scenes I wanted to talk about. Mm-hmm. When he was telling her how like he loves to eat native people because they're a delicacy. I'm like, that is such a loaded response to say to her in so many ways, especially when we think about like now and all the things that are happening of people finding a lot of indigenous people in schools. Unmarked bones. Mm-hmm. I was like, wow, that's a loaded thing, because that is true. Definitely treated as if we were specimens and not real people. And then when she was like, I called the cops and they're on their way coming or something like that. And he was like, how did you? And then he said, runaways die all the time. And to me, that was an ode to missing and murdered Indigenous relatives around, Canada and the U.S. And I was just like, wow, just so many things of being like, your life is disposable. Like you are a young girl. No one's going to care about a little Indian girl. Mm-hmm. Because this is going to have, like, these things happen so often. Nobody's really looking. I feel like almost daily, I'm seeing such and such is missing. Have you seen such and such? Mm-hmm. Sharing on Facebook all the time. So for me, those 2 scenes, those some other things, but those 2 really sat with me.
Yeah, I think it's like really powerful the way that Stephen Graham Jones is able to merge like really horrific, like body horror, gory bro horror with like really important messages and like really impactful moments and things that he obviously wants to say with his books. Like I can't imagine how infuriating it would be as an author, like watching horror books come out for decades that are like Indian burial grounds and like all of this shit that you're like, this is like real, like and getting to actually publish your stuff and getting people to read your stuff where you actually get to represent yourself and you're not just reading all of these dudes for decades talking about like your ancestors.
Yeah.
So I really like that he gets to merge these 2 things, and he does it so fucking well.
He does it so well.
Because like this is also nasty. Like this is nasty, this book.
Yeah. I mean, he was like, you got to eat and keep eating. I'm like, God damn, how much are you eating? And then him talking about what he wouldn't eat below the belt. He's like, I'm not eating below the belt.
Yeah. Like, oh, okay.
Like, you got preferences, and him being like, I'm not dealing with this period. I got to look at preferences. I was like, oh my God, this man really has got it to a T. And the idea of her being hunted also was more layered. I don't know.
But she also got to be immune at the same time, which I like such a great way to cover it is like she can't be impacted the same way a white person could. Yeah. And she, like I thought that was great.
Yeah.
Any other scenes that did something for you?
I think the very ending of the book where she like looks at Bucket Mouth as her dad and she thanks him, like, thank you for basically essentially allowing her to come to terms with his death. Yeah. And like, this is a confirmation that he is dead and that she can move on. Like that whole monologue that she had of being like, I took a part of who I was when you left and when you died. And I try to save that part of me, but like, I can't live my life anymore because I'm just stuck in this grief and like this whole journey of like running away from you, but now stopping here in this like tunnel and seeing you and like being face to face with you and allowing myself to accept what has happened. I think that was such an impactful scene, but then it also kind of wrapped up like what the story was really saying, because like I think at certain points I was confused, and then to have him be her father at the end and like have her really like tell us that she's accepting his death, I think that was so impactful, and it almost made me cry, to be honest.
No, straight up.
Yeah, I think everyone's talking me into turning this into a 5-star.
Yeah, no, straight up.
I'm like, wait, I liked it while I was reading it, but like,
Yeah.
no, I think this is a really good book.
No, yeah, it was. I was just like, oh man, I definitely agree with that. I also thought, and I don't know if you guys thought this was an impactful scene, but I was like, damn, that escalated so quick when she got into the truck with the other guys towards the end. I don't know, this trucker, and then she looks and see that fucking Bucket, whatever his name is, he's like there just with blood and shit all over his face, and then the guy recognizes it. And then they're running, and then she was like, and then next thing I know, he's opened the door and like kicked her out. Like she just fell out of the truck. And I was just like, damn, you couldn't bring the girl to safety. You're like, okay, Mom.
She was like, I want nothing to do with this.
I don't have nothing to do with this. I'm gone. You have a good time, but I'm getting the fuck out of here. And just that scene, I was just like, not to just dump her like that, even though he would have died for sure.
Yeah.
But still, like... No.
I had to reread it because I was like, did he actually just shove her out?
No, literally. Me too. Because I was like, I didn't hear it right. So I had to run that scene back because I was like, no, he really did. Yeah.
I'm glad you guys brought to the table like the moving and important like message stuff, because in my mind, impactful scenes, all I can think about is him eating a tongue, him peeling his face off. Remember, he was peeling his face off?
Oh, in the car.
That was disgusting.
Where the face flies in the very beginning onto their windshield.
I didn't even understand what we were talking about.
Yeah, and I was like, what
I was confused.
I think it was because in chapter 1 he rips off his face after he shoots that guy. So
just fling it around.
That was just his plastic bag of a face on the road.
Oh my God. And I thought those truckers was really gonna kill him. For him to be like, oh, I got a little bit of them in my teeth. Adjacent. I was just like, what? This man is crazy.
Oh, okay. I think we talked about kind of within that question a bunch of what my other questions were as far as like themes and reveals. Did you guys like the ending? I feel like he almost always does like an open ending where you just get to think about where it's going to go in the future. Do you think she's safe and well in the future?
Ooh, I don't know. I think she's might be still hunted is what I was thinking.
Did we ever get to find out if her sister's actually alive? Because I think she thinks she is, and she just runs towards her. I think they get back together. I think they all get along. I think those three girls, they live together and they're happy.
Yeah, that could be true.
Yeah,
that could be true.
I always hope for the best with open endings for the characters. I'm like, you have such a happy life. Everything you wanted has come true. Maybe the people you love didn't actually die. You know, I like to have a better ending for these characters.
Yeah. In another universe, I think that Dylan is still alive. I think that never. Yeah. I think she was hallucinating that, and I think that 100-page scene of his death being torn apart under a truck that didn't really happen.
No,
and they're gonna be in love in the future.
I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I refuse to accept this as Dylan's end. Like this, no, because the thing is,
no, I also think the mom is alive. The mom didn't die either.
Didn't die.
Exactly. I just think when she realized like how when she talked about like what Dylan was to her, but also trying to make it clear we're not together. And I'm like, girl, you guys are together because you envisioned a future with him and him being there for you in a way that I would think is romantically involved. But I don't think Dylan died, and I refuse to believe it.
I agree.
Only confirmed death is the dad. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And to have like, cause her dad, and I don't know, time is a real tricky bitch. But I'm like, to have pieces of the dad on standby, is
And then
wild.
he was like, let me put a date and a label on this booty jar.
Exactly.
He's so organized. I think if I was a serial killer, I'd be the same.
And I was just like, wow,
label
really
maker.
really playing to the serial killer themes. I need a trophy. I need something to remember you by. You know what? Your pinky toe? I might have to keep that one.
And he was like, oh my God, was that Harper on the side of the road? Let me go find her dad.
Exactly.
Let me give them a reunion.
Oh my God.
This would be so fun.
But
he's so cutesy.
Did anyone see that coming though?
No.
I saw it coming.
No.
I saw that coming. I was like, he's about to turn to the dad at some point.
I think there was a moment. Yeah, because there was a on Fable where we get to talk about everything chapter by chapter. There was one moment in like chapter 5 or something that someone was like, somebody wrote like, oh, I bet her dad's gonna come back, or like the guy killed her dad, or the guy is her dad. And I was like, oh, I wish I hadn't seen someone else's prediction for that, because now it's in my mind.
Yeah, I saw that one coming. Dang, if I knew you were on Fable, I would have downloaded it. I tried to download that app a while ago and get people to join it, and they were like, "We're not doing that stupid shit."
I think more people are definitely getting on it, and I love it. Like, I really love it for a place to discuss things, because I do get confused by scenes. And if you're somebody who's the same, they're like, every single chapter, people are talking to each other, asking each other questions, like, what really happened in that scene? Can you explain that to me? Like, I love it.
Oh, okay, that's really cool.
She did paralyze him at the end, which I thought was, again, a really smart choice of hers to feed him somebody who was paralyzed. I don't know how she exactly knew he would take on those attributes.
I think she fed him the woman that
the original woman,
right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, how did she know it was her body part?
That's true. But I think she knew that based on how he described, like, if you got cancer or like you would still,
and like the period thing.
Yeah, like you would still take on those attributes. And I also thought it was really interesting how most of the people he ate were men.
Yeah.
And when he talked about how there's so many of us out there.
Yeah, I didn't.
No, like that. I mean, that was layered. It was like there's a lot of serial killers out there. There's a lot of people who make it their mission to, murder and kill Indigenous women. Like, there was just so many different things I thought about, being like, there's so many people out there. We can like, and also, I don't know if this is me going too deep out, when he was saying, like, when she asked, how are you guys created? Do you have kids? Or like things like that. And he was just like, one day you can just eat a piece of meat and you just know. And I think it plays into when people be like, are you born with or without empathy? When we're talking about psychopathology, when we're talking about, different personality disorders, like, can you learn empathy, or is it something you're born with? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I guess anybody could be a serial killer. Anybody.
Yikes.
So some people are more, pushed towards the liking of it than others, but
like, man, this chicken and rice, is giving thigh.
I just can't believe the amount of books I've read with people eating up each other's eyeballs is a little crazy lately.
Yeah.
The eyeball eating has been really prevalent in my life. I don't know about that.
It really has. Didn't you do a whole video about eyeballs? And I was like, this one has lost her mind. I'm going to watch it, but this one has lost her mind.
For those of you who this was the introduction to Stephen Graham Jones, will you continue with other things? I would love to know. Obviously, we all will.
This is the most gory introduction to his work ever.
Yeah, I think like from here, you can't really expect that. Like, I don't think I've read anything that was quite like this. There are other books of his that have scenes that are similar, but just the wild ride the entire time. I don't think anything is quite like this. Even his other actual short stories that are in bind-ups, like anthologies, they're not like this.
No, they're not. I will make one request, and that's for you, Jenny. When you start the Buffalo Hunter, which is great, okay? If you can just buddy read with me on Storygraph, so I can see what you think in chapter for chapter, that would be wonderful. Because
I'll send you a message when I start.
Thank you, because I'm sitting here still sad that Kayla gave it 4 stars, because that shit is criminal. That shit is criminal. You know what I mean? Like I can take a lot of things from your recommendation. I can sit there in peace and I won't talk shit. But I'm talking shit about that because
I think
four
I can
stars.
I can objectively see it's one of his best, but I'm not really a historical girl either. So
Oh,
you
I am a
know,
big historical girly. I
I
get you.
know.
What? Yeah, it's true. It's probably I do love
Okay,
it.
let's leave it with any book or movie recommendations you have for this story specifically. I would say, for the people who are saying they will continue, I would definitely recommend Night of the Mannequins. I feel
Oh,
like if you're
yeah.
looking for a group of characters, this might give you everything that you're looking for. But it also has like horrific moments, but kind of warm moments. I think this one would be a really good place to go after these.
Yeah. I think similar friendship vibes of being, especially being sad when they die, and slasher adjacent. I would say, oh my God, this title is so long. So please, I hope that I say it correctly. You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight by Caitlin Barron.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah.
It's really good. I really, really like that book. It's slasher adjacent. And I also think that some of the writing and like the themes of the writing, I don't know if I'm making sense, is very similar in My Heart is a Chainsaw. As I felt similarities while reading it. I don't know.
That's funny. I was gonna say I think it's kind of similar to I Was a Teenage Slasher because like we get a really unique villain in both of the stories.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
very different, but there's if you like a villain moment and you want the villain to be the main character.
Oh
read
yeah.
this one.
Yeah, I agree with that too. But also I was a teenage slasher just like you. But this is even when I said when we talked, did I talk about that on your book club?
Maybe.
Whatever. But if I was very deep in my grief of losing my mom when I read that book, I don't think my head was in it. And it was heavy on grief. Like
Yeah.
I Was a Teenage Slasher grief was every sentence. It felt very overwhelming for me. So I think I should reread it now. Maybe I'll reread. Maybe that'll be my next book. Maybe.
Okay. You were in that live show. I checked.
Oh,
I was like, I remember you being there. Yes, you were.
I couldn't remember, but yeah, I do think that book deserved that and Mannequins of what is it? Mapping
Night of the Mannequins.
Not Night of the Man, Mapping the Interior, I think. Deserve a reread from me.
I think also in the acknowledgments of Killer on the Road, he did talk about mapping the interior around the same 4-month period as writing this one. And I can see like similar thematics with grief. I think also if you want something on the ends of like consumption and like losing a father, The Eyes Are the Best Part is a good one. And I think this one isn't the same thematics, but if you want like cannibalism, there is an anime that's called Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The initial like thing that starts the whole story is our main character eating a finger.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it becomes like a demon.
Yeah, Attack on Titan.
Yeah. There's eaten in there.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I think, oh my God, why am I blanking on? Oh, The Eyes Are, what was the title again, Jenny?
The Eyes Are the Best Part. It's by Monica Kim.
Okay, I was like Monica something. And I don't know, Kayla, did you review this book and I'll put it on my TV? Okay. It's coming.
I loved it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Because I'm looking for new authors. I don't think I've read it.
Oh yeah, you should read that one. It's like it's another perfect mix of like disgusting stuff, but like important messages at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna download that.
I think you'll really like it because the end is wild.
Oh my God, you guys. I'm so sorry. All that
read it and you hated it.
Take back everything I said. Take back everything I said.
Okay.
Today is the day to be celebrated. Look what just came in.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
Karen Slaughter. That's a white woman I can get behind.
I was gonna say you're a Karen Slaughter girl.
Love that white woman.
I keep thinking about picking her for the book club and then it just never ends up happening. I was thinking about actually saving that one that you just got for something next year so we can do a backlist.
Ooh.
Because she doesn't do a lot of like she's so deep in certain series. Like I want to read something fresh, obviously.
Yeah. If you do the back, let me know. I'll be there.
Okay. Did I have any recommendations for this one? Let me see. I wrote down The Outsider by Stephen King because he also mentions that in the acknowledgments. And then I put down Jeepers Creepers. I feel like not enough people have gotten on the Jeepers Creepers bandwagon. It's one of the only horror movies that has ever actually scared me, and it has to do with like a trucker and being chased down on this road. And then there's this like mystery with this dead body, and it was so incredibly good. Not the sequels, but the original one.
Yeah, you guys, she's such a millennial, and I feel it. Yes,
so
girl, that
one
horror. I will never rewatch again because once was good enough, babe.
Same. I would never watch that again.
And then I realized where the road in Louisiana. I have been on that road several times, and
I hate that.
My mom was like, "Yeah," and I was like,
"No,
no."
Maybe we should watch this for my besties book club. One of our movie nights could be Jeepers Creepers.
You live your life. It will not be me.
I'm very bad at visual horror, so I don't watch horror. I can only read it. So I don't think, maybe I'll read a summary of the movie.
You gotta know yourself. I tell people all the time, people are like, I don't get how you can read horror. I can read horror.
I can read it
all day. Watching it, fuck no.
Because I'll like close my eyes and then I'll see the whole movie.
Yeah. I'm like, no. But Jeepers Creepers is some psychotic.
Ooh.
Okay. I have to get out of here. So, thank you for being here. I'm so sorry this one went so long.
It was 2 books.
It was 2 books. Like the idea was 2 short stories. These were not short stories.
No, they weren't.
No.
We had just as much to talk about as we do with 500-page novels. So thank you very much for hanging out with me today. Thank you too for making time. Please check their links down below. Follow some new channels. Check out some people and their recommendations. And we'll see you next month with the Treasure Hunters Club, and the month after that, Futility by Nuzo Ono.
Okay.
And we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.